everyone tonight to this broadcast of the ZOR Tier 2 race here in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. Hoping for some good weather, unlike the unfateful luck of those in Tier 1. Tonight commentating is me, Iro Packer, and sitting alongside me is Camden. How you going?
Doing good. How you doing, Packer?
Yeah, I'm having a good night, I'd say. How's your evening been?
Going great. Yeah, just usual stuff, and we got this race about to happen here, and yeah, hopefully it's good weather because Monday was not good weather. So hopefully these guys won't have to go through the rain.
Yeah, Tier 2 is known as the rain tier here in Zenith Online Racing. It does get the most rain, as was shown in France. Almost an entirely wet race last time out for round 10. Mentioning that, I'm going to take a little look through the championship standings as we are just about to ready up here in the lobby. But right now we have Scavney and the McLaren with an 11-point gap to Alt Maverick in third place, and then a bit of a gap back to the two Ferrari boys. Arbiga leading his teammate by 7 points on 87, and then Puff Digital on 80 points. The two Tier 1 commentators. Then you have Bark School 2 point back in the Red Bull, and then Soy Loca 1 point behind Bark School, and then you have Sam, RC, Terminal Deity, and JMG leading the two Alfa Romeos in 10th. And then Mr. Baboon 2 points back from his Alfa Romeo teammate. And then you have Lit Romney and It's Eric, the two Mercedes boys, split by 1 point. And then Wolfsburg in 14th on 12 points. And then Jinnit, who moved down last round from Tier 1 into Tier 2 on 8 points. And then you have Niebuhr and Hightower both on 0 points, the Renault and the McLaren. Going through the constructors now, as earlier mentioned, the two Ferrari boys are in third and fourth, but they are leading constructors by 11 points to McLaren, Scavney and Niebuhr in the McLaren. And then you have Haas on 145, that is Alt Maverick and Wolfsburg. And then you have Williams on 115, Soy Loco and Terminal Deity. Alpha Tauri on 109 with... actually, there are no full-time drivers right now in the AlphaTauri. So those are points from former drivers. Then you have Red Bull on 97 with Sam M. And can't find him right now. Struggling. Oh, yeah, Spark School. Sorry. Going just a little bit blind. And then you have Racing Point in 7th on 71. Alfa Romeo in 8th. Renault and Mercedes. The three open seats, as I mentioned earlier, the two Alpha Towers and the second Renault. As we are heading into qualifying here, what are your predictions? What seems to be on this sunny Thursday evening?
Well, usually my predictions don't end up well for the drivers, so I got to be careful with my predictions, but I think we're going to see a lot of the regulars up front, guys like Maverick, Scavney, guys at the top of the standings. But I have a feeling we're going to see a guy like Fuzz up there at the front, too. Fuzz was really good on Monday, and I think he'll be up there as well. I think you'll see a guy like Jinnit, who is relatively new to Tier 2. I think he will be up there as well. I think it's going to be very close, though. I think most of the grid will be pretty close in qualifying, and I think it's, as you see a lot of guys going out right now. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, most definitely. Qualifying here in Austria is always quite entertaining, especially with the very, very short track. We're expecting probably around mid to high 103s tonight from the Tier 2 boys, as we did have Adri and Zamaglis both retire, as they are coming down, taking a little break from the Tier 1 action, stepping down to the lower level and filling up the Tier 2 spots.
Looks like Scavney is going to be the first one to start his lap. Looks like we got Terminal right behind him, but yeah, Scavney's heading through turn 10 right now, it looks like.
Yep, Scavney coming onto the pit straight. He's going to be the first one to cross the line, the first one in the championship. Maybe a little bit of a resemblance to that. Going through turn 1, taking just the right amount of apex curb, taking a good amount of exit curb as well. Now he's going to go 7th, 8th gear in hot lap ERS mode with the DRS through turn 2, and then on the brakes for turn 3, just about the 100-meter board, going a little bit deep. Could use a little bit of apex curb, having a little bit of oversteer. The turn 3 tracking zone is very, very difficult in these Formula 1 cars. Now down the hill to turn 4, not going to use any curb while braking, just a little bit towards the end there, having a big lockup into turn 4. Now 5th, 6th, 7th gear into turn 6, using a lot of apex curb and a good amount of exit curb. Now through turn 7. That looked pretty neat. You don't want to get on that inside curb, but you can use that exit curb if you want to extend the track just a little bit more. Not using any entry curb into turn 9, down the hill. Now through turn 10, probably the easiest corner to invalidate here at the Red Bull Ring. But it's going to be a good lap from Scavney, a 104.9, and he's going to go provisional pole for now. He did say earlier in the Discord that he can do a 3.5 in time trial. So let's see if that will come out from the championship leader, as his teammate has invalidated behind him at turn 10.
Yeah, turn 10 is very easy to invalidate, and the thing with that too is that if you invalidate through turn 10, not only does that lap not count, but your following lap also gets discounted, so you really want to make sure you stay on the track. And yeah, you mentioned it, that lap by Scavney was good, but already guys are overtaking it. Sam put up a 104.1, so that's a pretty good lap.
Yes, Hightower, the only full-time Renault driver coming across the line to set a 108.4, maybe making a mistake on the lap, and he's going to be going again, I'm guessing. But yeah, I do want to mention that Arbeget had the fastest third sector on his qualifying lap. But yeah, Sam M going on to pole position in the Red Bull. Red Bull always seeming to have good form here in Austria. It is their home track. So yeah, Sam M hoping to put on a performance for the home fans.
And I think that we're going to see a lot of people do as many laps as possible, just because this is one of the quicker tracks to get around to on the circuit. But we'll have to see what people do. Looks like Biga and Jinnit are very close as you can get on times. They are separated by just 1/1000th, so already some close times. But as people go out, I think the grid will get even closer.
Yeah, Jinnit going a 10th up in the first sector on those medium tires, looking to put in a few banker laps on the mediums and then going on to those softs later in the session, and hopefully going on provisional pole for himself and RC, the two Racing Point drivers who were very, very close last time out at Circuit. Paul Ricard now coming through turn 6. A little bit of an off-camber here. You can lock up pretty easily. Very easy to go wide and invalidate it on that exit curve. Now through turn 7. Now coming a little bit back up the hill. He is purple in the middle sector. I'm not sure how much he is up. I didn't get to see it right away. Through turn 9. Looked pretty nice. Now through turn 10. Very easy to invalidate, as I mentioned earlier. He is now coming to the line. He's going to improve by 4.5 tenths. He's going to go just in behind his Racing Point teammate in third place, the third lap on those medium tires.
Yeah, great stuff from the Racing Point so far. They didn't have a great week last week, but as of now, they are second and third. So definitely good stuff from them so far, but obviously a long way to go, so we'll see where they end up. But right now, they're doing pretty good. And it looks like his teammate, RC7, is going for another lap here.
Yeah, RC probably taking the softer set of tires. Those gonna want to use all 4 sets of those tires in qualifying, as we do have a McLaren off the track. I'm guessing that is Scavney. Just moving out of the way for Puff Digital. Puff Digital on his first lap doing a 16 flat in the first sector. That's not too bad for the man in the Ferrari. Now coming through the very, very beginning of this middle sector. The middle sector, the longest sector by far of these 3 sectors here in Austria. not using a lot of exit or entry curb into turn 4, the downhill braking zone. Now are going to sweep back right for turn 5, and then the left-hander up turn 6, having a little bit of a lockup. As I mentioned for Zenith's lap, Zenith not doing that, but Puff is going to make that mistake. And now Puff, he's purple in the middle sector as Zenith was, so just bringing it back maybe a little bit from that first sector. Now he's going to go through the downhill of 9. Not going to invalidate there, and now through turn 10, using a good amount of sausage curb on the inside of there. Now he's going to come across the line. He's going to go provisional pole on a 4 flat. That's a really good banker lap from the Ferrari.
Yeah, that was a very clean lap, and he came very close to the 103s, but I'm sure we're going to see somebody get in the 103s, but that's the closest that anybody has got, and he is over a 10th ahead of Sam right now, who is now second on the grid. So yeah, great stuff from Puff, and oh, almost into the wall, spun off of turn 3. So if he wanted to do a second lap, obviously that's not happening now, but great stuff from him. 104.0.
Yeah, we do have RC coming through the last corner. He's had a pretty solid last sector, but it's not going to do anything. He did make up about 2.5 tenths in that last sector, but he didn't validate it at turn 10. That would have put him on provisional pole. He did have a purple middle sector, but now we do have Sam M, who is a 10.5 up through turn 10, coming to the line now in the Red Bull. He's going to go provisional pole, the first person into the 103.9s. So, yeah, Sam doing a very, very good second lap there in the Red Bull.
Yeah, it looks like Lit Romney has joined, so it looks like we'll have a full grid for this race. And Sam has been very good in qualifying. He qualified on pole last week, and as of now, he is on pole for this week. So he didn't get the result at France, but I think that if he can keep his car clean, keep it on the track, he is going to have a good race because he's shown a lot of pace lately. Yeah, that was a really solid lap. We'll have to see if anybody like Puff or even RC can do a better lap than that, because there's still 9 minutes left in this qualifying session.
Yeah, we did have Hightower, who was 4 tenths up on his lap time, invalidate through the last corner, as many drivers will tonight. I'm sure many drivers will get warnings there at turn 10, one of the most difficult corners on the circuit, matched by turn 6 and turn 4, and even turn 3 for traction.
Yeah, turn 3 definitely tough. But like I mentioned before, the thing with turn 10 is not only do you invalidate your current lap, but you also invalidate your following lap. So turn 10 is very crucial, and I also think of turn 1. Turn 1 I think is very easy to invalidate too, and I think turn 1 is also just really hard to get perfect. I think it can be very aggravating at times, but yeah, Hightower invalidated lap. He'll have to try again, but looks like Terminal going for an out lap right now. He's got a 105.5. I'm sure he can improve on that. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I do believe Zenith is on a lap coming through the middle sector, as actually he invalidates. He was 6.5 tenths up his first lap on the soft tires. He would have been easily on provisional pole position, still having that third sector to go. The grip of the softs way outmatching the grip of the mediums. He is going to pull into the pit lane now. He should have 2 more sets of soft tires, so he should be able to use both of those to his advantage, as he does speed into the pit lane on my screen. But yeah, you did say Terminal Deity is on a lap on the mediums. We are going to follow along board with the Williams driver. DRS open, now down the hill towards turn 4. Now going to stick it into turn 4. A little bit of a difficult corner, as I mentioned earlier. Alex Albon getting hit off by Lewis Hamilton, the first race of the season for this very, very weird 2020 season.
Looks like Terminal will not take that lap. Interesting choice. So probably just didn't like that lap, wasn't going to wear his tires out anymore, and he'll come back in the pits and try again, it seems like. But looks like most of the people are putting on the softs. Terminal the only one on the mediums, so I think for the most part everybody's going to be on the same strategy, which I think will make things interesting for the start of the race.
Yeah, most definitely. The strategy around here in Austria, you can take the softs to about lap 14 and maybe make the mediums work, but it's much safer to take the softs just 2 laps less and then go on to the hards and make it pretty comfortably to the end of the Grand Prix. We do have 36 laps here in Austria with the 50% race, so it'd be interesting to see what these drivers can do over the 36 laps and the 6 minutes left in this short qualifying session, as I do believe we have Scavney coming to the line. He is 7/10 up on his lap. He is going to go P3 on a 4-1 just in front of RC and Biga, those two separated by 5,000. So Scavney, your championship leader, should have 1, maybe 2 runs if he's fast on these in laps and out laps to propel himself even further up the grid.
Yeah, solid lap from Scavney, and I think he can do even better. Like you mentioned before, he was able to get some pretty good lap times in before the race. And speaking of good lap times, RC with a 103.89.
Oh, and Sam is gonna go 400 faster as Alt Maverick splits those two. So yeah, we're having a bunch of fast lap times put in here, as it is really a hot period during this short qualifying session, as they are big behind them on a out lap, or finishing an out lap. I was expecting, ooh, okay, yep, that's not invalid. We're just gonna ignore the fact that we saw that from Biga completely extending turn 1 and not getting invalid. I don't know what hacks he's installed, but they're definitely pretty good.
I think he's paying the stewards.
Most definitely. As we do have Lit Romney, I believe, coming to the line now, maybe even starting a lap, going into turn 1. Ooh, going a little bit deep there.
It's really incredible how close the top 3 is, just 400ths between them. And you know, I mentioned RC going on pole, but that was very short-lived. We had, you know, 2 more people right after him get into the 103.8. So yeah, this is definitely, I think, a hot part of this qualifying session where we're going to see a lot of 103s very soon.
Ooh, yeah, Jinnit on his second lap on these on his second set of soft tires, he was 2/10 up through the first sector going into the braking zone of turn 3, but then having a little bit of a traction issue and also locking up into turn 4, the traction issue over at turn 3, probably the most difficult traction zone at this Austrian Grand Prix circuit. Now coming through turn 6, not invalidating through there. He's 6/10 up. This should be able to put him on provisional pole through the middle sector. He still has time to find in that last sector. As we all do know, his personal best right now is on the medium tires, going nicely through turn 9. Hopefully not invalidating through turn 10. He's not going to. He's going to go to the line with DRS open. He should go on provisional pole, and he does by 4/10 to Sam Jinnit, making the move down to tier 2 from tier 1 for the French Grand Prix. And the admins might just have to move him back up, as he is showing a very, very strong pace here in Austria. But he did do 2 laps on the soft tires, so his strategy is going to be just a bit compromised with that early invalidation.
Yeah, and the thing too is that he's running no line in tier 2, so it's not like the admins can really do anything about it. Jinnit just really putting up a great lap, a 103.4, and that is 4/10 above Sam. I don't know if we're going to see anybody go above Jinnit, but you never know. Scavney, I think, can absolutely do better. He's on an out lap. Sam on an out lap. RC on an out lap. So yeah, everybody is going to get one more crack at it, but Jinnit with a really good time so far.
Yeah, Jinnit should be very, very happy with himself with that lap time in the Racing Point. Going 4/10 on pole, as I mentioned earlier, as we do have Puff coming through the last corner as he is invalidated, but he is going to be starting another lap in his Ferrari, his SF1000, not going very strongly here in real life, except for the fact that Charles Leclerc with that podium at the first race of the Grand Prix. We do have a few comments here from T-Money. I didn't mention that earlier, but Simon in the comments saying that is dry in qualifying, as you can see, and is going to be dry in the race. As we did Scavney coming through turn 1 and having a little bit of an off. He has retired from the session as he has lost his right front tire. It is very easy to do there on the exit, or on the inside of the exit of turn 1. We do have Puff now coming through the middle sector, locking up again into turn 6. Not going to hurt his momentum too much, I don't think, but he is a 10th and a little bit up through turn 7. Now going through turn 8. He's going to now go up this little crest and then down the hill towards oh my gosh, I can't get my words out today. Towards turn 9 and through turn 10. He's going to invalidate, though, on that sausage curb, just taking way too much curb. Maybe just a little bit desperate for the extra lap time, trying to match Zenith in the racing point. But we do have Zenith's racing point teammate, RC7, now coming down the hill, 9 and 10. He's going to do the same mistake as Puff. He's going to invalidate again. No. As our Bigga, though, he's not going to make that mistake. Actually, as I said, he is on an outlap. I do apologize for that one, but we do have Niebuhr 5 laps on these soft tires, really low on fuel, with 53 seconds left. He's not going to be able to do another lap, but he's going to be outside the top 10, doing 6 laps on those soft tires. That's basically a race stint for these guys. So doing a 5-6, I'm not sure if he's happy with that or not with those soft tires. But we do have Wolfsburg, who I believe has invalidated this and next lap. Actually, no, he has not. Not invalidating at the last corner, invalidating earlier on his outlap. But then we do have RC, or Zenith, on an outlap, just about to start one. I thought that would have been RC coming back into the pits, but RC should be coming into the... Yes, he will be coming into the pits. Puff coming into the pits as well. Who else is on lap? As actually our Bigga is on a lap coming through turn 9 10. He's gonna have to watch out for RC. RC gets nicely out of the way into the pit lane. Now through turn 10, really nice. Turn 10 and turn 9 and turn 10. He's gonna come across the line. He's gonna do a 4-3. He actually hasn't improved. He's a 10th down. He's gonna be the first person to finish in this qualifying session. Yeah, our Bigga not improving. Even with that amazing turn 10, he's gonna stay 8th in the Ferrari. Ferrari looking very strong at the very beginning of this session, but not being able to improve on their lap times, as we do have Wolfsburg, who is in P9 currently. He is down in 14th in the championship as he goes very wide through turn 9, just taking a little bit too much apex speed. Not even really making the apex. He's turning on the DRS across the line. He's 1.1 seconds down. Obviously making a mistake there as Zenith has backed off on his lap, probably just saving those tires. Actually, no. Does it look like he might? Actually, no. He's missing an M plate, a right M plate off the racing point. But then I think this Terminal Deity is actually 2/10 up. He's purple in the middle sector. I don't think it'll be enough to go on pole unless he can have an absolutely god tier final sector, which looks like is not going to, going very wide through turn 9, and then taking just a little bit too much apex through turn 10. But he is going to go P9. He's going to improve 1 spot on Wolfsburg and going just about 10th and a half behind our Bigga in the Ferrari, as we do have everyone who has finished their laps here in Austria, with Zenith, your new Tier 2 driver from last race, on pole by, well, actually 3/10 now, as Soy Loco. Actually, no, I think we missed Soy Loco going P2.
Yep. Soy Loco, he's been very good as of late. Remember, he actually won on track last week, but because of penalties, he ended up not getting a podium. But yeah, Soy Loco really solid, 103.7, and he's I think he's P6 in the standings right now. And a few weeks ago, he was actually P9 in the standings. So Soy Loco, as of late, has been lighting things up, and he is actually only 10 points away from 3rd place in the standings. So we could see a guy like Soy Loco really make ground in the points today, because he's starting off really good on that front row with Zenith.
Yeah, Soy Loco, very good in the rain last week. Just picking up a lot of penalties at France. It is relatively easy to extend at Circuit Paul Ricard with all that runoff and those blue and red lines that can be a little bit toxic to the eyes. But yeah, Soy Loco, it's going to be even easier here to pick up penalties, and it's not going to be wet, as we saw in the weather forecast, aka the comment section on this stream. But yeah, hopefully they are right, and Soy Loco is going to be hoping for a dry race, as it looks like he does have enough pace to be on the 2nd step, or even maybe the 1st step of the podium.
Absolutely. So Mr. Baboon made a comment, which was interesting, saying that imagine if Zenith won the championship with having 11 less races than the others. I mean, anything's possible. We could definitely see it happen if he keeps up this pace. But yeah, looks like Jinnit is on pole.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we do have 11 races left, including this one in Tier 2. Just halfway through the season now, or starting that second half, as we do have Jinnit, as we mentioned, 3/10 back to Soy Loco, and then Sam M in the Red Bull, and then Alt Maverick and RC7. RC putting in a very, very good qualifying performance. Not compared to his teammate, though. But RC will be happy with himself. And then we have Puff, Digital, Scavney, Arbig, Terminal Deity, and Wolfsburg rounding out the top 10 in the Haas. And then you have Niebuhr, Lit Romney, Hightower, GP, Bobby, Adri, Fuzz, Eric, and Zamaglis. Those, I think, all the way from 14th down. Those are all Tier 1 reserves. So they have not set lap times. But yeah, 11th down, going to be able to start on that alternate strategy, as it is a little bit overcast here in the Austrian hills for this Austrian Grand Prix.
Now, I mentioned before that usually commentators' curse is very real with these races, but I want to do predictions, and I will apologize ahead of time for whoever I pick. But Packer, you want to go first?
Yeah, just taking a little bit of a drink there. But yeah, to be honest, I don't think anyone is going to be beating Jinnit tonight. Jinnit showing a ton of pace in qualifying, but today, earlier in qualifying, Jinnit having all the pace that he could ever need. So hopefully, or for his sake, going to be keeping it into the race. The rest of the Tier 2 guys not going to hope for that, and maybe making a stake and going to be able to capitalize, maybe even a late VSC or even a safety car to spice things up. But yeah, I think Jinnit is going to take the win, and I think Alt Maverick had a little bit of a lackluster showing, only down to P4. He is ahead of his championship rival Scavney, who's in P7, but yeah, I think Alt Maverick should be able to take P2, and then I think Soy Loco, who's going to have a pretty good run into second place, but with penalties should finish behind Alt Maverick in the final results. What are your predictions, Camden?
Yeah, well, like I said, I apologize to whoever I commentators curse, but I am going to go with Scavney for the win. I think Scavney will make his way through the field. He's been very consistent lately. I think he'll get on the top step of the podium. I'm going to go with Sam in second. I think Sam's been good lately. And then I'm going to go RC7 in third. I think it's going to be a interesting podium today. But yeah, like I said, I apologize to you three. Hopefully you are not cursed. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting race.
Yeah, well, if there is commentator's curse, which we all know there is, just a little bit of a conspiracy theory there. Both the top two in the championship should not be finishing this race tonight. So Arbiga hopefully looking to make up some good points on the top three, as we do have RC7 who is in the grass.
You see, this is what I did.
Yeah, RC having a little bit of traction issue there, as it is very cold compared to qualifying. The clouds covering up all of the sun here for the start of this 36-lap race. We are on the formation lap. Drivers are going to be wanting to warm up their tires. As we are talking about tires, we are going to see what tires everybody is fitted. As everybody in the top 14 is on the soft tires, interestingly enough. And then we have Adri, Fuzz, Zamagos, Aerostrike, and Lit Romney, 15th, 16th, and then 18th through 20th, all on the mediums. And then you have Eric, who I believe is a Tier 2 driver. Yes, down in 13th on 17 points. Not doing a qualifying lap. He's going to be starting in and amongst the Tier 1 drivers tonight. He's going to be trying to make this different strategy work and move himself up the field on those hard tires.
Yeah, and Eric has been pretty solid as of late, too. Last week, remember, he had a chance at being on the top step of the podium, except weather just didn't go his way. And at Canada, too, he was leading laps, so who knows, maybe Eric can work his way from 17th up into the lead. Remember, he qualified in 18th last week, and like I said, he almost pulled off the victory, so anything could happen. This start, I think, is going to be really, really interesting, though.
Yeah, as we do have Bobby and Adri making contact there on the formation lap. Adri's not going to be happy with that because his medium tires are going to have the opportunity to cool off, as we do have Lit Romney coming to the back of the grid right now in his Mercedes. Lit Romney having internet issues. I think he had an update coming into this Grand Prix. He's going to be starting on the medium tires all the way down in 20th and last place here for the Austrian Grand Prix. But we will have the start of this race just about now, as the 5 red lights are coming out to start this race. A long hold there for the red lights, as Jenna has made an absolutely amazing start compared to Soy Loco and Sam. Actually, Soy Loco having a really good second phase. He's going to send it up the inside of Jenna. Jenna's going to have to make room for the Williams on the inside. Soy Loco now going to have to look forward, or he's going to look behind, as we do have Williams off there at the back, as Terminal Deity is out, and GP Colin has lost his front wing, as there is a virtual safety car, and we haven't even made it to turn 3 yet.
That was quick.
Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to say about that. I think GP maybe just catching the rear left as Terminal Deity. Just saw it in the background of one of our camera shots there, going up towards turn 2 and turn 3 at the very, very top of this Austrian Grand Prix circuit. But yeah, Janet making a very good start with Soy Loco behind, and then Sam M in the Red Bull, as we do have Alt Maverick and Puff. Let's see if there are any first lap position changes. Wait, that's the wrong one. There we go. Yeah, Puff and Arbiga, the 2 Ferraris, both making up places, and RC and Scavney falling down. Our biggest gainer on lap 1 it's Eric in 12th on the hard tires. So that tier him in tier 2, making it past most, if not all, of those tier 1 reserves, as I do believe the safety car should be the virtual safety car should be ending here quite quickly, as it does. Janet saying fastest lap. I think everyone thought that was going to happen, as the order board on the left is going to be making a few is going to be changing quite a lot, as we did have Sam M going around the outside of Soy Loco. Soy Loco into turn 1, and he's also going to have to look out for Niebuhr. I'm sorry, this timing glitch is very, very confusing. But yeah, Janet making a very, very big gap to Sam M in behind. Or actually, no, Soy Loco's got him into turn 3. Yeah, I'm missing quite a lot of things here. Very sorry about that. Alt Maverick is going to stay P4. The 2 Ferraris. Oh, we do have Scavney and RC battling into turn 7. Scavney is going to be going up into 7th place, and McLaren is Wolfsburg trying to go on the inside of RC, having a little bit of contact there on the right front for Wolfsburg, having a little bit of a slide there, but he's not going to lose any places, as Lit Romney has gotten a penalty already in this Austrian Grand Prix. That's not going to be looking good for the man in the Mercedes, as Wolfsburg has done the same thing as Puff in qualifying, hitting that sausage curve on the entrance to turn 10. And losing 2 places to Niebuhr and to Bobby Tava. Bobby, tier 1 driver. As we do have Hightower in the Renault, the full-time Renault driver, into the pits. The first one to pit in this Austrian Grand Prix.
Yeah, shout out to Eric right now on those hards. Already up into 11th, and ahead of him, Niebuhr spins into the wall. Gets damaged. So now Eric is in the points. Yeah, tough break for Niebuhr right there. But we'll see what Eric... Whoa! Wolfsburg
going very, very deep into turn 4, maybe having a little bit of the classic brakes failing on that Haas Ferrari into turn 4. But yeah, making a very, very big dive, as he does get a 10-second time penalty for that maneuver. I think he would be able to get that penalty removed after the race. From the stewards, as Arbiga going a little bit wide there through turn 9 in the dirty air of his teammate, as Janet setting a 107.1, as it's Eric. Oh, classic Eric getting a time penalty very, very early, as we saw in Canada. Sorry for the little bit of a burn there, but
no, I think the thing with Eric is he's got a lot of speed, but he just gets penalties, and you have a lot of drivers who can be like that. I think we all have our races where we're quick, but we're just a little desperate at times, and we get penalties. And but yeah, though Eric is pretty impressive right now. Oh boy.
Yeah. Fuzz almost going into the back of his temporary Alpha Tauri teammate Adri. Adri, I think, should probably just stay behind Eric on the hard tires. Adri is a reserve for this race, and Eric is not. So Adri, even if he does finish in the points, will not be scoring any in the final championship results. So Eric, who is a full-time driver, is going to be scoring points here tonight as it stands. As Adri is actually going to go to the inside for turn 9 there. Eric just letting him go, Adri, on those faster medium tires. But yeah, Eric just holding up these tier 1 guys just a tiny bit.
And I noticed that Zenith did pick up a 3-second time penalty, so on lap 5 he already has 1 penalty, and I think similar to last week, penalties will be the difference in deciding the win, and as of now, Zenith is already at a disadvantage because everybody behind him is still clean, except for Lit Romney, but he's not with them right now. But yeah, penalties I think are definitely going to play a factor.
Yeah, but as shown in qualifying, Zenith does have the pace to pull out those 3-second gaps, even if he does get more penalties, which I'm sure he's going to be very, very angry at himself for making those 3 mistakes on these 5 laps. We are just about to go into lap 6 here, coming through the very, very end of this middle sector, at the very, very end of that winding middle sector. But yeah, there are no real close battles here. We do have Puff on the back of second place in the championship. Alt Maverick in the Haas. As Zenith setting fastest lap, just getting that penalty and then starting to pull away from those guys behind, just trying to create that cushion very, very early in this Grand Prix, as we are now onto lap 6 of this Austrian Grand Prix.
Yeah, and if you notice, he's gotten above that 1-second gap, so Soy Loco does not have DRS, and this puts him in victim of Sam, who does have DRS, so Sam could easily get by Soy Loco because, like I said, Soy Loco has no DRS, and it looks like everybody behind him has DRS because we kind of have a little bit of a train from about like 2nd to, I would say, 8th right now. So Soy Loco right now is kind of a sitting duck, and Sam is right on him right now, just about half a second behind.
Yeah, both Ferraris, making mistakes there into turn 4, both of them locking up and going deep into the corner. Arbiga also making a mistake on the exit of turn 6 on that exit curb, just taking a little bit too much and having traction issues. That allowed Scavney to close up. Arbiga not going to have DRS anymore to his Ferrari teammate, so he's going to try and push to regain that DRS. As you can see, Scavney is just gaining so much on the back of the Ferrari, as Eric is picking up his second penalty, as Scavney actually just barely taps to the back of Arbiga. He's not going to get any damage from that, I do not think, but he's going to have DRS open down to turn 2 and through turn 3, braking just at the 100-meter board just now. Arbiga going to let him through, as he knows that is not his battle to fight right now at this stage of the race. But we do have Zamaglis going past It's Eric for P12. Zamaglis in the Red Bull going to try and get past and then pull away from the Mercedes on the hard tires. Oh, as we do have a yellow flag. Who is that for? Oh, that's for Hightower, the lapped car. Getting out of the way nicely for these leaders. But
yeah, and I said that Sam was catching Soy Loco, but it looks like Maverick has now caught Sam, and Soy Loco is starting to pull away from Sam, so Maverick could make a move here. Goes a little wide right there, but I think maybe the next DRS straight he can make a move. He's not close enough now, but
yeah, but as you say that, he's going to have to look behind a Puff, though. Puff going to the inside of turn 1, trying to overtake the second place in the championship leader. Maybe making a little bit of contact there. Alt Maverick just cutting across the Ferrari to get that inside line. He's not going to use it, though, for defense into turn 3, as Puff Digital is going to go late on the brakes, later than the Ferrari. Yeah, he's going to go just a little bit deep there, not getting it stopped, as Alt Maverick does pick up a penalty on the outside of turn 3, as Puff is going to use his DRS and his overtake to his advantage down into turn 4. Alt Maverick sending it all the way around the outside. Maybe a little bit of contact there. The Haas just having to back off, as Puff is going to get that move done, as we did have a battle. Actually, Alt Maverick is going to try and send it down the inside of Puff. Alt Maverick really not happy with himself, giving up that position to Puff. As we do have a yellow flag, that is for Hightower again, getting out of the way of these cars lapping him. Did he have a little bit of a spin? Yes, he did.
Yeah, it was very close between Puff and Maverick. There were a couple times where I thought that they were going to crash because Maverick's right front did make contact with Puff's left rear at one point, so definitely close stuff. But Jinnit with another penalty already.
Yeah, but we are going to have to look back towards this Ferrari and Haas battle as Puff Diddles is making a little bit of an error on the exit of turn 1. He has caught back up to Sam. That gap being increased just because of the Alt Maverick fighting Puff for that P4 on track. As you did say, Jinnit picking up another penalty. Eric as well picking up another penalty down in 14th. His third penalty of the Grand Prix. Puff Digital locking up again into turn 4. Alt Maverick making a traction mistake, so he's not going to be able to capitalize on that mistake from the Ferrari. You're also going to have to look out to Scavney. Alt Maverick having to look behind to his championship rival in the McLaren, just about 5/10 behind these three drivers. Alt Maverick making another traction mistake. Alt Maverick might be pulling into the pits here as his tires have seemed to be way past their best.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this affects everybody because for the most part, everybody at the front is on the same strategy, so we'll have to see who can battle with the grip as this run goes along. But guys like Fuzz and Adri on the mediums are definitely going to benefit as this run goes along, and even a guy like Eric who is on the hards, I can imagine he will be stretching those hards for a good while. But yeah, we'll have to see how tire wear affects these drivers.
Yeah, as we did say that, Puff Digital maybe gonna have another mistake into turn 4, maybe locking up, as yeah he does. He's gonna go deep on the downhill braking zone of turn 4, making a mistake, losing grip on that right front soft tire, just grip in all of his tires as well in the dirty air of Sam M's Red Bull. Sam pulling out a little bit of a gap to Puff. Sam having that cleaner air than the Ferrari does in P4. Alt Maverick just taking a little bit of a step back from the Ferrari, hopefully regain his tire temps, and then making a push forward for P4, as we do have a yellow flag. I'm not sure what that's for, as no one has retired or spun, I do not believe. But yeah, Austria always seems to be quite the DRS train track on the F1 games, so this one should be quite the close race when we get to the later stages.
Yeah, it looks like we have a really tight train from about 3rd to 6th. Maverick loose there. Here comes Scavney.
Yeah, Scavney moving up ahead of his championship rival, Alt Maverick, making the smart decision. They're just letting him go. Scavney actually locking up Puff Digital-esque into turn 4. But now the McLaren is going to try and pull away and gain those points on Alt Maverick, as he is right now up into P5. Alt Maverick just slightly falling down the field here in the Haas, as he is on the back, at the very tail end of this Red Bull train.
Yeah, well, Maverick seems to be losing track position from the tire fall off. I think Scavney has been the one to really benefit from this. I think he's really been making up a lot of track position, and he is now closing on Puff. So Scavney really being able to stretch these tires and keep the traction as Maverick is starting to slip down the grid a little bit.
Oh, as Fuselem. Not very characteristic for Fuselem to pick up penalties, but he will pick up one on the exit of turn 1. Is actually Scavney is making the same mistake as Alt Maverick. Alt Maverick is just going to cruise by both of them on their overtake. Scavney's actually going to try and fight this. He's going to take the inside line. Alt Maverick is passed going into the braking zone of the corner. Scavney going to send it on the inside, having a little bit of a lockup, but he's going to have to give that one up. Alt Maverick not making a mistake out of turn 3, but Scavney will. Maybe just succumbing to the pressure of that championship fight, as Puff Digital is going to pick up his first penalty in P4. He is the only one out of the top 4 besides Jinnit to have penalties so far. Jinnit with now 3 penalties on the outside of turn 9. Ooh. As we do have the first pitter, Soy Loco is into the pits in the Williams. He's going to be the first one to blink as he comes into the pit lane. I'm expecting for soft tire, not for soft tires, for hard tires, going to be fitted to that Williams, as Niebuhr and the McLaren has picked up a penalty as well. As actually he's going to be going on to mediums, it looks like. Yeah, Ooh. So maybe Soy Loco either going to try and one-stop this soft to medium, or he's going to go soft, medium, soft. towards the end of the Grand Prix, as he will come out just behind the Mercedes of Eric. Eric on those 12-lap-old hard tires. Soy Loco, who was in second place before he pit, should be able to cruise right up to the back of the Mercedes and pass in the next lap. Did we have a crash? Oh yes. Who is that? Adri? Adri having a little bit of a half spin.
Yep, Adri went off track, was able to keep it straight, but big moment for him. He lost many positions, but as Soy Loco pit, I wouldn't be surprised if we see many drivers come down this lap, because obviously if you stay out at this point, you're going to lose a lot of ground to Soy Loco, so we'll see if anybody does. Zenith stays out. Looks like Sam does, so I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we see some people come in this lap.
Alt Maverick's in. Alt Maverick is going to try and negate the gap that Soy Loco is going to get. I wonder what tires Alt Maverick and Scavney and Bigger are all going to pit onto. Puff not taking the option to pit, so our Bigger hopefully being able to make time up on his Ferrari teammate. Yeah, our Bigger going to be going on to mediums, Scavney on the mediums as well, and actually everyone who's coming to the pit lane is going to be going on to mediums. A little bit of a graphic glitch there, as Alt Maverick is in front of Scavney as they were on track, and a little bit of a gap back to the Ferrari of our Bigger. Coming out of the pit lane. But yeah, Alt Maverick and Scavney coming out behind Soy Loco. Actually, Soy Loco is going straight on at turn 3, making a mistake there. His brakes... Ooh, that's a little bit close to the wall, as Hightower picked up a penalty down in P19, as Soy Loco has hit the wall just ever. But yeah, Soy Loco is going to lose so much time with that mistake into turn 3. Not too sure what happened there. He's just going to be going straight on, and that's the mistake that will aid Zenith in the victory of this race if he doesn't pick up any more penalties, as Sam, who is now in P2, I'm guessing a net P2 actually for the Red Bull man, he has picked up his first penalty. Puff Digital has pit from in the Ferrari on lap 14, now 15, going on to the mediums. I wonder where Puff will come out. Is he going to come out in front of Alt Maverick and Scavney? Alt Maverick braking for turn 1 just about now, as GP Colin has picked up a penalty. Alt Maverick is going to have the momentum. Actually, Alt Maverick has undercut Puff. Scavney not doing enough to get in front of the Ferrari, as Puff Digital should have an ERS advantage here, which he does, about 20 or 30% now coming through turn 3, having a little bit of lockup, going deep, not getting these tires up to temperature just yet. Going to be opening up the DRS. He should be able to use his 1-lap tire advantage on Alt Maverick to get past in the following laps and towards the later end of this Grand Prix.
I think it's very interesting that Zenith and Sam stayed out this long, as they are both coming into the pits, so they will give this up. I can imagine they are both going to lose a lot of time to everybody else, so we'll see where they come out on track.
Yeah, as we did see earlier in the very, very short lap, that is the Red Bull Ring, as Bobby Tavez actually also coming to the pits from his soft tires. Now all the soft runners have pit, but we did see Alt Maverick jump Puff. Alt Maverick, I believe, was just in around P4, as Puff was... Actually, no. Alt Maverick was P5 and Puff was P4, as Alt Maverick and Puff, even Scavney has jumped Sam, but none of them are even close to Zenith putting in a monster 2 or 3 laps at the very end of his soft stint. He's going to be probably even 5 seconds in front of his nearest challenger, the Mercedes of Eric, splitting the net leaders.
The unfortunate thing with Zenith, though, is as fast as he is, he already has a handful of penalties, 3 of them already for 9 seconds, so although he's far ahead, he really can't relax right now.
Yeah, Zenith is going to have to make up a huge gap to the guys behind. I believe he's going to have to make up just about 4 seconds on Alt Maverick. Alt Maverick having the pace, I'd say, to keep it within that 9-second gap, as he is second in the championship right now. But yeah, but they're also going to have to contend with the traffic. It's Eric and the Mercedes on those hard tires. Those hard tires are going to be far past their best as we go on to lap 17. Puff Digital, his second lap on those medium tires. So he can be setting fastest lap in behind the Haas Maverick, going a little bit deep there into turn 1 and having a little bit of a traction issue, as Alt Maverick does pick up a penalty. So Zenith's only going to have to pull 6 seconds now to the Haas of Alt Maverick. Ooh, it's Eric defending a little bit. Yeah, he's tried to Yeah, Alt Maverick tried to go to the inside. It's Eric moved very, very late. Now it's Eric is just gonna get in. He's just gonna hamper the Haas and the Ferrari and the McLaren of Alt Maverick, Puff Digital, and Scavney. Alt Maverick now going to the inside of turn 4 to get past the traffic of Eric. These three have pit already, but Eric has not. He has done 16 laps and every lap on this set of hard tires. But now Puff Digital is really going to have to look to get past the Mercedes really, really quick here. So Alt Maverick does not get away. Puff Digital knows that a DRS is essential around this track if you want to stay with anyone, unless you have an absolute massive pace advantage, as Zenith does, or a tire advantage, as these guys do on It's Eric. Puff just taking it slow and methodical behind the Mercedes. It's Eric not going to have the best of grip in his Mercedes.
Looks like he is going to get by, which is good for him because obviously Eric was holding up all three of these guys, and now Scavney is going to have to work to get around him. It looks like Eric won't put up much of a fight, but that definitely hurt Maverick, though. When Maverick had to fight with Eric there, he lost a
look at Sam.
Considerable amount of
Scavney
time.
is wing damage. Yes, Scavney has hit Puff, and then Sam.
Oh!
Yeah, it's Eric going into the side of Scavney, or maybe the opposite there, as Scavney and Puff are going to be going side by side into turn 4. Puff going very, very late on the brakes around the outside. He's going to have that better run. Scavney having the wing damage, not going to be able to brake as late as the other guys around him. He's going to be trying to go around the outside of turn 7 there. Puff just on the inside, just allowing him the space. Scavney the same. These two are very, very respectful racers. Scavney still trying to send it around the outside of Puff. These two going side by side throughout the entirety of this middle sector. Now Scavney's going to take the inside. I wonder if he's going to pit. He will not with that wing. Yeah, he has lost his front right end plate, but he's not going to be pitting. Going very wide to the last corner. And now Sam, who was once in second place in this, race, he's now behind these 4 drivers as Zenith has picked up his 4th penalty. Zenith really, really making mistakes. He's going to have to push to get those time penalties, and eventually he's going to pick up more if he keeps on this track. As Scavney going to the inside, Sam going to the outside of turn 4. Sam setting a purple first sector, almost making the same mistake as Scavney, going almost into the back of the Ferrari of Puff Digital. That Ferrari rear end looking really good to these guys behind into the braking zone of turn 3.
Well, that really shows what traffic can do. I think Eric definitely altered the outcome of the grid right now. Not much he could have done. Obviously, he was on slower tires there, but he definitely had an effect there, as it's like a sector 3 yellow.
I'm not sure what that's for. We will keep on going as Fuselum, our current race leaders, into the pits. That will allow Aerostrike to get away, and Zamagos. All these guys in Tier 1 right now, so they will not be scoring points tonight, no matter where they finish in the final results. Zenith coming up to pass these guys. Zenith not opening his DRS. I'm not sure if he has an issue with it, or he just doesn't realize he was within a second of these guys in front. But then we have Alt Maverick 5.5 seconds behind Zenith. Alt Maverick making up a lot of places under that safety car, and then in the laps following that, and then you have Puff Digital 2.7 behind Alt Maverick, and then Sam right on the back of him, as Scavney has actually pit. He's going onto the soft tires. Those soft tires just might be able to make it. A few people taking it to lap 15 as Sam is up the inside of Puff. Puff. That was very, very late from Sam. I think Puff had the right to turn in there. Sam just so late on the brakes. He was able to get it slowed down, but Puff not seeing him, as it was very, very late move from the man in the Red Bull. Sam's going to have to regather his thoughts and close in another second if he wants to overtake Puff in P5. Sam just losing probably about 8 tenths there to the Ferrari, as the Magos is pit. Aerostrike's still not pitting from the race lead. But yeah, now Zenith is 1.6. Actually 1.4 seconds now behind the race leader. Alt Maverick actually closing in just a little bit through the rest of that lap. As Eric has gotten a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Sorry. Alt Maverick closing in just about 2 tenths, and then on the run from turn 1 to turn 3, losing 2 tenths. Hightower getting nicely out of the way of Alt Maverick, and then Puff is actually closed in 2 tenths as well to Alt Maverick, and then Sam closing in another 2 tenths to Puff, as Fuselum has actually made the alternate strategy work amazingly. He has pitted now as 2 seconds and 6th place is the man in the AlphaTauri. He is on fresh softs and should be able to take those to the end, as shown by the front runners earlier in this race, taking them about 15 laps, those soft tires. And he's also going to be towing along Biga if Biga doesn't lose too many places or too much time behind Fuselim on those fresh softs. Is Soyloka extending there a little bit. Soyloka once in second place, and then making a big braking error into turn 3, losing a ton of time. He's trying to recuperate all that lost time.
So it looks like Arrow came into the pits after being out there for 21 laps on the mediums. Soy Loco with the penalty, and Soy Loco was great before, but all it takes is one mistake for your race to go upside down, and unfortunately he's in the midfield right now.
Yeah, Fuselim, who is a reserve, is going to be making his way past Sam M here pretty quickly. I am sure Sam on 5-lap old mediums, Fuselim just pitting onto those soft tires just a lap ago. He has already closed up 2 seconds, if not just a little bit less, on Sam M in the Red Bull. But yeah, besides that, the gaps aren't really that close. Maybe hoping for a safety car here, just to spice it up a little bit. I know Zenith will be hoping for a clean race up at front. He still has to pull 2.4 seconds to All Maverick if he wants this race win.
Yeah, I just think it's been too clean to not have a safety car at some point, and I've noticed, I think as the race has gone on, these drivers have definitely gotten more aggressive. We've seen some contact, and personally, I would be shocked if we don't see a safety car, or at least a VSC, just because, like I said, I feel like they're getting more aggressive.
Yeah, as Fuselim is going to go to the outside of turn 2 and be clear for the braking zone of turn 3 at that 100-meter board, going a little bit deep. Just a little bit overeager, trying to catch up to Puff and these race leaders. Fuselim may be taking a provisional race win here with penalties. I know Fuzz has at least one 3-second time penalty to his name. Now closing up to the Ferrari of Puff Digital. This is going to help out Sam just a little bit. Sam letting Fuzz through on the straight from turn 1 to turn 3. So now he's going to be able to have DRS off the back of the AlphaTauri and close up to his race rival in Puff Digital in the Ferrari.
Yeah, so even though Zenith has a boatload of penalties, he is 7 seconds ahead of Maverick right now, so I think he's pretty good because Maverick does have a couple of penalties, and right behind him, Puff got another one too, so Zenith's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, All Maverick picking up his, Puff picking up his second time penalty. I believe All Maverick only has one. Zenith with 12 seconds of time penalties, so he will have to pull that gap out to All Maverick to about 9 seconds, as he's been doing very slowly, very gradually to the Haas driver in second place. That gap fluctuating all the time here in Austria. As we did mention, Fuselim only taking 1 lap to get past the Ferrari, or close up and get past the Ferrari of Puff Digital, making a little bit of a lockup there into the downhill braking zone of turn 4. That is going to be able to pull away and close down Alt Maverick, who is only 1.7 seconds in front of him. I know Fuselim only being a reserve here, not going to be scoring any points, but still looking for a good time in that AlphaTauri, trying to close down Zenith and Alt Maverick for this provisional race win.
Yeah, it's interesting how well the reverse strat has worked for Fuselim and Arrow. I think Arrow has made up a couple of spots and is about to make up another one on Soy Loco because of the reverse strat, so these guys definitely making it work.
Yeah, so Loco going a little bit wide there through turn 10. Aerostrike making a little bit of a mistake. I wish he would have made one of those on Monday night, but he didn't. But yeah, Aerostrike having a little bit of a lockup there into turn 1, and Soy Loco having a little bit of look at the Alfa Romeo of Arrow, getting very close on the apex there of turn 3. Gonna have DRS off the Alfa Romeo, and so is our big off the back of Soy Loco. We're gonna have to look at this battle for P7 on track. I think it should be about P5 once the reserves are moved out of the way. But yeah, this gap oh my gosh, is just under 5/10.
Yeah, no, Arrow was really solid on Monday. There was, I think, almost an entire lap. Him and I were side by side, and he just doesn't make mistakes. And he's just here to have a good time. He's a Tier 1 driver, but even in a Tier 2 race, he's doing pretty good. As Maverick Another
picked up
penalty. That is
his
huge.
third penalty. So Zenith only have to get that gap to 6 seconds. I'm sure Zenith should be checking every lap for Alt Maverick's penalties. But yeah, now Zenith has a 1.7 second buffer to the Haas in behind. So Zenith is on for a race win here. Bar Fuselim and Puff Digital having 2 penalties. He's gonna have to get that gap from Puff to Zenith just about 9 seconds, if not a little bit more.
Looks like Fuselim gets by Maverick. Now, I think it will be very interesting to see if Fuselim can work his way all the way up to Zenith. Like we mentioned, he's only reserve, but still would be very interesting to see if he can pull it off. I can imagine these softs will be good for probably another few laps. They will wear off eventually, but he might get it done.
Yeah, Fuselim only having to close 7.3 seconds, as he's already doing that. He's closed down a 10th and just turns 10 and 9 and 10 as we are going on to the lap 27 here of this Austrian Grand Prix. Zenith just about halfway in between turns 1 and 3, going through this very twisty straight up towards the very difficult braking zone of turn 3. Not many gaps are, oh my gosh, again. Not many gaps are close here so far. Not having a mid-race safety car as we did in France. I know France, we had the safety cars because of the extreme conditions, and then also safety cars in Canada helped just spice up the action a little bit. Not having one here tonight.
Yeah, so I think the guy who's really not benefited from all the reverse strategies is Scavney. Scavney right now not getting any points. That would be huge for next week in the standings. And yeah, it looks like my race predictions aren't doing very good. Scavney, RC. Yep, Sam's doing pretty well, but another week of commentator's curse, I believe. So I just I should probably just retire from making picks. But
yeah, just maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, Fuselim is really gaining. I think there's a serious shot if we don't get a safety car that he can easily get up to Zenith before this thing is over.
Yeah, Fuselim closing in just about a second on that previous lap as Sam M has picked up a penalty. I believe that is either his first or second time penalty, as we do have a yellow flag. I believe that is Hightower getting lapped by his Renault teammate down in 19th place. Also moving out of the way of the Alfa Romeo of, I believe, Aerostrike. Actually, no, GP Colin, sorry. But yeah, Aerostrike just in front of Sam M right now, just making that move for P5 on track. But yeah, as we said, Fuselim really closing down the racing point of Zenith. Zenith knowing that he's only racing Alt Maverick here, so Fuselim just trying to put in a few hot laps and close up to Zenith, his previous Tier 1, I guess, rival, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, and the thing that's interesting too is that Fuselim could have an effect on the outcome of this race. Say that it takes him a little long to get by Zenith, he could hold Zenith up and allow Maverick to close in a little bit, and all it takes is one more penalty for Zenith, and Maverick could realistically win this thing. So this definitely is not over. We still have a handful of laps left.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, Fuselim showing his Tier 1 pace out on the track right now, as Hightower getting nicely out of the way, as he has been for most of the drivers here tonight, causing just a few scares with yellow flags on the track map. But as we do have Puff Digital's actually close up to the back of Alt Maverick. Puff and Alt Maverick, I believe, are on the same amount of penalties, if not one of them having just one more. But this will be a late fight for second and third places on the podium, with Fuselim getting moved out of the way. Actually, Puff has picked up another time penalty, so I believe he is the one with more now than Alt Maverick, and not going to be within the penalty window of Zenith.
Still a great race from Puff, though. Before the race, he said that he wasn't feeling very confident for this race, and as of now, he is going to end up in the podium. So, great race from Puff, who wasn't feeling great about the track, and he's going to pick up a handful of points and could go into third in the standings when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Puff Digital should be finishing just about third place, unless something very interesting happens in these last 6 or 7 laps here at the Red Bull Ring. This very overcast Red Bull ring, as I believe that's high tire again, moving out of the way of drivers, having to back off with ghosting off here in Zenith Online Racing Tier 2. But yeah, Puff Digital, I do believe, has the opportunity to move in front of his Ferrari teammate in the driver's standings. Ferrari currently leading the driver's standings, is going to be extending their lead to McLaren and to Haas here tonight.
Yeah, great night from Ferrari and constructors, and it can get even better if he can find a way by Maverick, but looks like Fuzz starting to slow down a little bit on his hunt to get Jinnit. Last couple laps, he hasn't been gaining much time, so maybe the softs are already starting to wear off a little bit.
Yeah. Fuselem has been on those tires 10 laps, so they're going to be just a few laps past their best. I believe they go up just about around lap 8. But also, this battle for second place without the reserves, you're going to have to look out for Aerostrike, as actually Puff has made a mistake. So I don't think Puff will be able to close up that gap. But Puff does have the ERS advantage just about by 20%, so he might be able to close up that 6/10 and get DRS in these next few laps, and maybe making a little bit of a charge for the second place on the podium.
And we'll have to see if Aero can get to Puff as well. Aero a reserve as well, but like I said, these reserves still can have an effect on the outcome of the race. Say that he slows him down a little bit. Soy Loco with another penalty, so this race is kind of gone downhill for him throughout the race, but Fuzz starting to gain a little bit back on Jinnit, but like I said, at this point I don't think he's going to catch him, so Jinnit looking pretty good for the win right now, I would say.
Yeah, as we do have yellow flag, that is Scavney, I believe, having a little bit of a spin in between turns 6 and 7, that downhill portion, as we did see in real life. Bottas cutting just a little bit of grass. Scavney following in his footsteps per se. But yeah, we do have Jinnit, who's leading the race by 3.6 seconds to Fuselem. Fuselem is reserved, so he's leading the race actually by 9.3 seconds to Alt Maverick. He's well outside of his penalty window, is Alt Maverick to Jinnit. And then you have Puff Digital 11 seconds back to Jinnit, and 1.7. So Puff Digital looks like he's not going to be able to get back within the DRS of Alt Maverick. That battle is probably the closest one on track for position in the driver's standings. Well, I meant for, like, you know, actual points. Sorry.
Looks like Adri is right behind Soy Loco right now. Adri a reserve, but looks like he could get the move done. He's going to have DRS. I don't know if he'll get it done this straight away, but definitely the next, I would say.
Yeah, Hightower picking up a penalty. He is 2 laps down to our race leader, Jinnit, in the racing point. As Adri's going to make a move on Soy Loco here on the outside of turn 2, going up turn towards turn 3. The Alpha Tauri reserve going up into P7 on track. He has 2.3 seconds to close up to the Red Bull of Sam M on those 16-lap-old mediums. Adri only doing 3 less laps so far on these soft tires.
Yeah, and Aero did get by Puff, so if Puff can stay within 1 second of Aero, he could get DRS off of him and kind of use that to get up to Maverick. It looks like Aero might get by Maverick as well, which could hold him up a little bit, so Puff definitely isn't out of a potential P2, and we'll have to see what penalties do to the outcome of the race, but looks like he does have DRS, so this will definitely help Puff get back up to Maverick.
Yeah, but Aerostrike is going to be a little bit held up behind the Haas of Alt Maverick. Puff not having that much dirty air, as he is just about 8/10 behind the Alfa Romeo of Aerostrike. Aerostrike and Puff both having DRS off of Alt Maverick and off of Aerostrike. But yeah, Aerostrike not going to be able to make a move into turn 3 in the Alfa Romeo. He's going to be using his overtake and the DRS to his advantage on Alt Maverick. He's going to go to the inside of turn 4. This should be a pretty easy move from the Tier 1 driver, currently second place in those, oh my gosh, Tier 1 standings. Yeah, Aerostrike in Tier 1 in second place versus Alt Maverick, who is in Tier 2 in second place.
Yeah, so Arrow starting to pull away from Maverick. Puff is within 1 second of Maverick, so if Maverick doesn't get DRS from Arrow, which it looks like will happen now, but say in another straightaway or two, once Arrow pulls away, Puff can easily get by Maverick as he is within DRS, so this isn't over yet. We still have 2 more laps.
Yeah, Puff Digital though using ARS, I'm guessing to stay with Aerostrike there. Once Aerostrike made his move past the Ferrari driver, he only has a 10% ERS advantage. Actually, doesn't even really have that anymore, because All Maverick is on 5%. Puff was about 11, I believe, going into the braking zone for turn 3. He's going to be gaining that ERS back under braking, as these Formula 1 cars do with their hybrid battery system. Now, on the DRS straight towards turn 4, as we do have a McLaren who has spun. That is Niebuhr. Now getting out.
No, that's Scavney.
Actually, no, that's Scavney, making a second spin in about 5 laps as Lit Romney has picked up a penalty. Scavney moving behind RC in the racing point. Is actually RC has gone very, very, very wide in the runoff at turn 1. Scavney going to try and use the DRS off of that racing point, maybe get a move down into turn 4. But we are going to go back onto the battle for P4 on track. He's actually Fuselim's out. Where's he done that? Is he just retired?
He pulled into the pits and retired. Just got out of the way, which was a smart move. But looks like Puff will have DRS here.
Yeah, Puff will have DRS, but that's not going to do much against Alt Maverick, because Alt Maverick does have DRS off the back of the Alfa Romeo of Aerostrike. We're expecting Aerostrike to pull away pretty easily from the fight for 2nd and 3rd on track, as we do have a yellow flag as Zamalgas has retired on track, and actually no, someone making a mistake there. That is Hightower at the last corner. But yeah, Alt Maverick actually getting really, really close to the back of Aerostrike. Puff not going to be able to do anything about the Haas in front of him. I wonder if Aerostrike will move out of the way for Alt Maverick.
He's had the opportunity to do it. I don't think it's going to happen. This is definitely
so Loco and Arbiga are going side by side.
Ooh.
Yeah, Arbiga going around the outside of turn 4. He's going to go around the outside of Soy Loco for P6 on track. They should be able to move up to P5 and P6 as Jinnit has won the race on track. Aerostrike letting past Puff and Alt Maverick. Aerostrike pulling into the pits now. As Arbiga, I think, is going to be finishing in front of Soy Loco on track here. Soy Loco having a very, very solid race in P2 until the pit stops, and then making that into turn 3, the braking zone as Jinnit. Ooh, so Loco's actually spun out of the last corner. It's Erica's gonna pass him. Ooh, he's gonna have to watch out. Yeah, it's Erica's gonna finish in a very, very solid P7 from I believe 17th, making up 10 positions in his race. I wonder. Well, actually, he does have penalties, but so Loco's only finishing 2.8 seconds behind the Mercedes of Soy Loco.
Wow. But crazy final lap, and Scavney actually will get a pretty reasonable result here. You got to factor in Arrow, the reserve, and Adri, so it looks like he will finish in P8. So getting some points out of this, or is Arrow...
RC was very close on the line. But yeah, that is the finish to this Tier 2 Austrian Grand Prix for Season 4. A very overcast the entire way through, as we do have Jinnit, who has completely dominated this race without the penalties. Yeah, I believe winning on track by maybe like 10 seconds to the Haas of Alt Maverick. Ooh, yeah, 15 seconds for Jinnit, as he has won this race. And Aerostrike in P2, he is a reserve, so he will not be scoring any points. But then it is Alt Maverick on the podium, as well as Puff Digital. Both Ferraris going 4th and 5th, or actually no, 3rd and 4th. For the 2 Ferraris, they're going to be scoring very, very good points in the Constructors' battle. And then you have Sam in the Red Bull, and it's Eric who pulled off the reverse strategy pretty much to perfection on those hard to soft strategy. And you have Soy Loco and Scavney and RC, and then Bobby Tab. Actually, no, Bobby Tava is also a reserve, and Adri is a reserve. So Lit Romney, who didn't join for qualifying, started dead last in the Mercedes, picking up the last point position.
So if my math is correct, we have a tie in the points for the championship lead after this race. So that is interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Alt Maverick scoring 15 points, outscoring Scavney, his championship rival, by 11 points. So yeah, your math should be correct and that is going to put Alt Maverick just behind, well, actually tied with Scavney in McLaren for that championship lead. Haas also should be tying McLaren in championship standings.
Shout out to Big, 0 penalties this race. Very impressive stuff there. Looks like a few guys only had 1 penalty. Looks like RC, Scavney, Arrow as well, but everybody else just loaded with penalties, and Jinnit ended up winning with 15 seconds of penalties. Look at... Did you see Eric?
Yeah, yeah.
Check
Eric
out
with a multitude of penalties there as well.
29 seconds. I think
Yeah,
that's a new record.
I believe someone else also had 8 penalties down in the lower finishing results. But I think we're gonna get the podium finishers into the party just about now. So we are gonna take a little break, and we'll be back in just a little bit.
Cool.
Okay, with this very, very botched PlayStation Party system, I believe we have added Puff and Alt Maverick, but I, for some reason, cannot add Jinnit, which is very, very interesting. So I don't
Interesting.
know how we're gonna get him in here, but
Yeah.
yeah,
It looks like we got some banter between Puff and Puff and Fuzz in the in the chat. Um, some friendly competition there. Um, yeah, hopefully Janet can get in here. Obviously, I want to hear what he has to say.
yeah,
But yeah, let me see. Let me see if I can
yeah.
add him.
Yeah, you try and add him,
Who are we trying to get in here?
Jinnit.
Janet, Jinx.
Oh, sorry. Oh gosh. But yeah. Yes, second and third place are in the party now. Just waiting for your race winner.
There we
And
go.
there he is, Jinnit, moving down from Tier 1 and taking our first race win of the season. I know you won on track in Australia for Tier 1 and then losing out on a penalty to Aerostrike, who was actually in this race, who finished P2 on penalties, but he is a reserve. But how was that race for you? I know you picked up a lot of penalties, but how was that just trying to create the gap and manage that back to the other Tier 2 guys?
Just as soon as the penalty started piling up, I just had to just floor it pretty much and try not to get more penalties. That was pretty much it, really. Pretty much Austria is the easiest track to learn with no line, so every other race from here on in, I'm not going to be as fast. I guarantee that.
Yeah, Janet, you had amazing speed today. Can I have your setup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take it.
It's
All right.
too late for you, Camden.
Yeah, I'll just have to wait for next season. But yeah, Janet, I think your move to Tier 2 has been really good so far. I saw somebody in the chat mention the possibility of you winning the championship, even though you've had 11 less races. Do you think you can win the championship?
No. There's gonna be a lot more bottles and DNFs. That's probably going to be my only win. Guarantee you. Everything else is going to be DNFs and bad races. And that gap's a bit too far to pull in, really. Especially with no line and learning tracks. So I haven't got the time to learn tracks and stuff like that. So just going to be going in and just seeing what I can get. More so the constructors than the drivers.
Yeah, you and RC were both pretty strong in qualifying for Austria. You were on pole by a pretty solid amount, and then RC down in fifth place. But now we are going to go on to second place man, who is now tied in the driver standings for first place. Alt Maverick, pretty solid race from you. It was pretty, I guess, close towards the end of the race with Aerostrike coming up and Fuselim towards a little bit earlier in the race, but also having Puff pressuring you from behind towards the last few laps. How was the race for you?
I think it honestly could have been better. I killed my tires in both the stints. I think they were about 70%. Once once I pitted onto the mediums, and then at the end, I believe the mediums were on probably like 75. So I could have been better in that, but to finish P2 and to tie Scavney at the top of the table, um, first time back at the top since I think Vietnam. It just feels great.
Yeah, and you made your way through the field too. Throughout the race, qualified outside the podium. What was that like, moving your way up, eventually up into second?
Uh, I I mean qualifying P4, I knew I had some work to do, and after seeing the gap to Jin, I kind of got my serious face on, realizing that this race was going to be a bit more tough than I thought it was going to be. Usually Austria is one of my quicker tracks, but I worked with it. I tried my best. I tried to stick with Jin, but uh, in the end, it just didn't work out. But I'll take P2 any day.
We have a comment in the chat from Fuzz. Maverick, he called you out. He says he couldn't keep it clean.
Well,
And he also called out Jinnit for sandbagging. So
Yeah.
That is sandbagging.
We can get him banned from the chat. That's not a big deal. We'll get him out
Yep.
here. We'll get rid of him for next week.
Yeah, but now on to Puff. A very, very solid day for Ferrari. Third and fourth after the reserves have been moved out of the way. So Ferrari is going to be moving even further up the constructors table. Actually, you guys were already in first, so just
Yeah.
making your gap even bigger to McLaren and Haas, who are actually now tied as well in the constructors. So a good day for Ferrari and an even better day for you.
Yeah. I don't even know where to begin. We must have been the highest scoring constructor. I didn't feel too great in qualifying. I think the lap I got was the only clean lap I got. I kept invalidating. I couldn't really get times on the board. So I think I started fifth or sixth. But I actually felt pretty good once the race was underway. I felt I had decent pace. I did get a move done. Me and Maverick had a nice little battle in the first stint, and then he managed the undercut on me, so I'm kicking myself over that. I definitely should have pit a lap earlier. I should have followed them, or I guess they were following me, but me and Bingo were discussing it, and I told him to go for it, and I would go next lap, and then, yeah, bit me in the ass, and couldn't get back past him. I got in the DRS range, but never really close enough to attempt to move, and then I ended up just too much wheel spin on the exit of turn 3, and that was kind of the end of it. From there on, I was just kind of bugging Jeff every lap to see if he'd pick up an extra penalty or something. I knew he had 9 seconds, and then I also had 9, so I was just hoping maybe he would cut a corner or two and I could get him on penalties, but no, it is what it is. I didn't feel too great, so definitely happy with P3.
Yeah, Puff, before the race, you mentioned in the chat that you weren't feeling very confident. Are you surprised by the result?
Yes and no, I suppose. Like, I do know I do have pretty consistent pace to challenge for podiums at most tracks. Like, I do find I am normally up there. I do want to be winning races, though, so I knew I had no shot of winning, and Then once the race got underway, I know Scavney had an incident that dropped him off because he was pressuring quite a bit, and so then it just kind of gave me that breathing room. I know I undercut Sam as well. I was struggling to get past him, so a bit of fortune with strategy and incidents down the field. So yeah, I'm surprised to get third, but not too surprised.
Well, luckily for us, next week we'll go to a track where all of our laps won't be invalidated necessarily. Yeah, I had a lot of trouble on Monday, turn 10 specifically, and the thing with turn 10, I brought this up a couple of times, is that when you invalidate, not only does that current lap not count, but your following lap also is invalidated as well. So, yeah, I'm glad that this week is over, and we'll be on to a different track. But, yeah, I think it's pretty interesting how opposite Tier 1 was from Tier 2. I think this race was much cleaner from Monday's race.
Well, not in terms of penalties, but
yeah, well, yeah, but
yeah.
You guys didn't have to race in the rain, though, so.
It's true. It's much easier racing.
They had their pain in France. They had their pain in France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
France wasn't even that bad. Well, I did punt Scavney, so I guess it was pretty bad.
Scavney punted me today and ruined his own race, so he's just kind of getting bad luck
he
recently.
did get wing damage. We did see that.
Yeah, he gave me a nice bump. I didn't know who it was. I knew he was trying to overtake Eric, and yeah, I got punched through turn 3 there.
Yeah, Sam almost did the same thing on the lap after that as well. But yeah, as Camden mentioned, we do have Britain next week. We also have EU on Sunday. You guys should go check that out. We do have a couple of quick guys in the EU tier. But yeah, Britain on Monday for Tier 1, Tuesday for PC, and then back here again Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern for the British Grand Prix for Tier 2. I've been Packer, and that's been Camden. So see ya.